No,
You know what I'm saying?
no. I mean, like he said, like, and I always tell, but and like there's a. I mean, for me, like again, I said like I'm coming back amongst after many years away. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure I gotta get my weight up. I gotta make sure, it's like I'm on, I gotta make sure, whatever my hand skills is, whatever they need to be.
Right, right. But also, but I wanna, interject right there because the signs of, you traveling.
Right.
That holds a lot of weight too. You know what I'm saying? Like that you're doing real world application.
You're right, God. And I appreciate you because you always.
Yeah, I gotta bring that home for you.
You always do. You always do. What it becomes like like we all from the block, and one brother goes to college, and whatever, and then still come back and chill on the block and smoking L's
Right.
and there's someone in the clique that be like, yo, what are you still doing out here with us?
Yeah. Right. That's ball.
I mean, it's slightly different.
It's slightly because this is the fact. Like now, why is the foundation?
Yeah.
Right. This is where this is where knowledge and wisdom of the original man started of this nation. Right. So it's beautiful that you tap in. You know what I'm saying? With your babies and everything, and you get a sense of the root. Right. But at the same time, God, you also developing it in the real world. Taking it, on a real world stage. So seeing it on that level is powerful, and on that level, there's gonna be brothers that's gonna come to you, like myself. I'm gonna come to you and say, well, what's that like over there? What you dealing with over there? How does that work over there?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? How does that apply? As a matter of fact, like we was one of the things that we was building on before was like the science of Buddhism. Right. So you went over there and started studying Buddhism, and you saw it from that perspective.
Right.
God, I want to know about that science.
Work. So let's get into it. Let's hit some of those questions.
Yeah, God. So you dealing with the traveling, going from Now Why. You travel from Now Why to where? Like, what was the first place you hit?
Ever, you mean?
Yeah, first place when you left Now Why, going to
the east.
To the east.
Taiwan.
That's the first place. Okay, so how do you see the knowledge cipher degree of the 1 to 10 in relation to Taiwan and then the other places that you traveled?
Knowledge cipher degree in a 1 to 10 in terms of these places. So.
Like Buddhism,
right.
Christianity, 551.
Well, for us here, let's say in the Western Hemisphere, and not even the Western Hemisphere. Let's take everything from like Saudi to like
Saudi Arabia.
To the United States.
Okay.
That chunk right there, including Africa, whatever, right? For us,
so like the Mediterranean.
Let's take all of that. With Africa, we take Europe, everything from there to here, that part of that much of the world. Because if I say Western Hemisphere, kind of includes that, but don't include like Saudi and Turkey and all of that. But let's include that in there, right? That world, that's one cultural sphere. Obviously, there's sub spheres within that, but that's one basic cultural sphere, and that cultural sphere is pretty much run by Christianity and Islam. The back and forth between them.
Okay.
That magnetic, you know what I'm saying? That's what runs that, right? Whereas on the other side, let's say from from Saudi to like to Japan. I mean, Pacific is like scattered islands that kind of they're not part of any. They got their own little, right? But like from Saudi to Japan or whatever, right? And everything in there. Buddhism, and not even strictly defined as what we would say with the religion of Buddhism, but just that sort of mindset of, where there's karma, there's rebirth, you do good deeds, you get to certain things, and you have to have some sort of inner contemplation and meditation. The mind is the key to sort of realization, rising above, transcending. That sort of mentality runs that part of the world. So even if we just take the knowledge cipher degree, because Islam is in the born degree,
right? Yes.
Right. So when we built on these are my degrees, the born and the knowledge cipher, because that defines so much of my life. Because I was into Rasta, which is not Christian, but it would sort of come under that umbrella before I came to this.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Although there are lots of Rastas who don't deal with any sort of biblical. There's Rastas that are like us. They don't even want to hear Selassie is God. Selassie is Selassie. Don't tell me no God, and I don't want to hear about none of that. That mystery. They think of it that way too.
Okay.
But
because I know that's broken down to like 12 tribe, Nyabingi.
Right. And then you have some, like, so the main
subgroups of that,
which are like really like, we don't deal with like, as we would say, mystery and so on. Like Muda Baruka, he taught, if you know the dub poet Muda Baruka, famous Jamaican, he said, don't tell me about no God. He said, bun God. And people tell, bun God. Jamaicans are religious. They're like, bun which God? Which God you want bun? Bun all God. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hard. He said, but Selassie is God, right? Selassie is your God. Selassie higher than God. Like, he talking about the black man.
The black man, okay. See, that goes into like language and culture,
right?
Because you listen to him, like, that might, at least from what I'm getting from you, that might sound like a Muslim saying that Fard is God.
Well, yeah, they're not the same exactly, but and I'm giving one, but the main point, and then there are other rosters that would, I'm sure, that break it down a little bit, but to some extent they're gonna, Selassie is somewhat important to them, but they don't all say that. But anyway, to a certain extent, Rasta, for me anyway, came under that Christian umbrella, and then I went to study the Buddhism. After I got this knowledge, I really got into that.
So you was dealing with Rasta before you got this knowledge.
Right, Rasta's like high school.
High school, okay.
High school and college. What happened then? Rasta, the first year that I went to Taiwan, that was like my second year, my sophomore year in college, right? So I was over there, and like the Rasta magic, the Rasta mystic, it didn't work.
It didn't work over there,
right? Like, because Rasta man move mystical and Jah provide, and the flow somehow it didn't, and I felt like, am I out of my zone? Is that what it, like? Basically, that's eventually the conclusion I came to. I'm out of this. Like, Rasta for me, it worked in the West.
Okay.
Because where I could deal with Bible, I could tell people, no, Selassie is God. Why? Because you go to Revelation chapter 19, verse 16, you see where it said King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and such and such, such. Yo, when you got people that don't read no Bible, they don't care nothing about no. In fact, they got books way older than anything you got in your Bible. What you telling them? Oh, okay, that's cute.
Okay, so now you're getting into Buddhism is 35,000 years.
Okay, that's a whole other. I really would like to address that, but let's put that on the side for a second, because this is a little personal history. So when I was over there, like if I tell her I got dreads, and they like, yo, why you got dreads? What is this? And what I'm gonna tell, well, you see, because as black people, we have lamb's wool on our head, and so the white man make us cut and trim and comb so that we could, so that way. They don't have no reference for that. You just look like you got nasty hair. Like what like like they're not seeing any like struggle for racial equality out of uncombed and uncut hair. Okay, that's sure. Like so I'm like I came to the conclusion like I couldn't formulate it, articulate it, but I'm realizing now what I was seeing the limits of the Rasta
in the world.
Right. Once you moved out of this particular black diaspora context, the Rasta thing didn't have legs to stand on. I had no way to communicate with that world I was in. I'd always been around this, right? And so on and so forth. Again, I told you, I didn't get into this because of Wu-Tang. But that same very year, this is 93. I'm in Taiwan, Wu-Tang dropped that year. My man had the CD. I remember listening to it at his house and like, okay, I didn't even like it. But I remember one time in my apartment seeing them on UMTV Raps with Frat 5 Freddy filming the Mysteries of Checkboxing video. I'm just saying that I came into this, and then I came back. That's 94, 95 school year. Summer of 95 is when I came to the school. So it's like while I was growing back in this, that was right when the 5% thing was blowing up in the hip hop, and it was kind of everywhere. 93, 94, 95.
Well, I mean, it was remnants before like
Divine Styler even.
We talk about like Big Daddy Kane
or Big Daddy Kane,
Rakim and whatnot, but there was another
wave, a sort of wave.
It
right. Came in like that, and yeah. So that as that and I don't know, and then so in 95 is when I came to the school, and that's
so 95 was the first time you went to the school.
Right.
Okay.
And it was brothers that I knew from. I was doing a little like things down on 8th Street in the village. And there was brothers out there from uptown, and they used to come sell their little clothes up and down the street. And the guards was, they were saying they mad, spitting whatever they spit. I tried to say, I was trying to associate, like, yeah, y'all do the math, I know 1 to 9 and the 9 months of the baby. And the guard just ripped me up with stuff that I didn't even understand what he said. So I was like, okay. Yeah, y'all ain't changed.
Because you had the experience before.
I mean, the guards is just you don't go around. You don't play with that. You don't play with the guards.
Don't play with the guards.
But so one of the guards I was for weeks and weeks. Every week I'm like, yo, God, you gotta take me up to the school. When's the civilization? He told me like Tuesday and whatever. I was like, so yo, when we going? And I'm pestering him for so many weeks. Finally, he took me. I could feel he didn't really want to take me.
But you was pestering him about it.
Pestered him for so long, you know what I'm saying? And then, funny thing about it, so I come into civilization class. These are all the guards from downtown that do. So I come into civilization class, Dark Kim class. The same guard,
this is 95,
right, who had bombed me. He coming into the class, and he throwing little indirects under his breath. And like I could feel the vibe, like, yo, he not happy with me being here. I don't care, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? He showed me the way. I need none of y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? But so then, I remember at the class, Doc Kim was asking everybody questions or whatever. Doc Kim was like, and y'all breaking down all of this, talking about and which planet got 19 moons and all of this, extraneous. I remember, and the God was like, God. I don't think there's any planet with 19 moons, God. And Doc Kim, regardless, God, that's not the point I was making. Yeah, God, I'm just saying that I don't think, And his voice,
who's saying this?
This other God, but his voice getting real small, and he real like, God, I just want to make the point.
So you said you reduced, Doc Kim reduced him?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. So he was like, I don't think, I just remember Doc Kim just on the, regardless, God, what I'm saying, that wasn't the point I was making. I don't understand, God, but so I kind of felt like, okay, because this God he sliced me up in the part, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah. See, where's it?
Right. Doc Kim put the pressure on him.
What goes around comes around. And then at the end of the class, because I had been learning about the first dynasties of China, the Shang dynasties that supposed to have some African descent, or those earliest Chinese dynasties that was supposed to be black dynasties, right? And then
I mean, did you know that when you got there, or
when I got to China? Someone before.
You was in Taiwan first.
Yeah, I'm saying China because I'm saying, but I mean Taiwan. That was from Born Understanding the Born Culture.
Okay.
Right. So just before I left, you know, I had people telling me, you know, the first dynasty is black. They just put the C.
Who was saying that?
Like my man's, you know what I mean?
Like,
the other Rosses, anyone. I hung out with the conscious crowd in the school. So they were saying that. So anywhere, I mean,
law school?
No, I mean in college.
On college, okay.
So when I got to Taiwan, I'm looking for any sort of cultural connections, like whether it's physical traits or whether I see them eating certain foods or whatever cultural connections similarities I can see, you know, I'm drawing that up. Then, so then anyway, by the time we had come back, so it was summer 9/5. Then in Doc Kim's class, the end of that first class, I go up to Doc Kim. The only thing I said the whole class, I go up to Doc Kim, and I asked him, like, yo, so what do y'all say? What are y'all policy on Chinese? What do y'all say about Chinese people? What are they? Are they black or white? What are they? And he said straight out, like, if it's not white, it's black. I was like, yo, where can I sign up for this? This is what I'm rocking with this.
Okay. You know what? And that's interesting because not everybody agree. I don't want to veer too far, but I just saw a comment on there that you know, he most likely doesn't know much.
Oh, knowledge seed and understanding seed.
He was saying something about the understanding seed. The understanding seed is basically saying the yellow seed and the white man are you know, why are they getting the lessons and they haven't really, you know, they're not really a part of this.
Okay.
Like, as I saw, like, for all that, like so you don't really understand this culture.
Yeah.
Because we talk about teaching all human families. Exactly. Not everybody agrees with all human families.
You must do your own research, as I did.
If Mecca did this.